Hey there, it's Ed. Been a long time since I connected up here. Get myself squared away here. So today I want to talk about communication skills with couples. And one of the common things that I hear in my coaching sessions, I just did one this morning, and this was a common theme, is why am I getting the results that I'm getting? What I want you to understand about that is this. There's a couple things you want to be thinking about. First of all, it's a great question. Why am I getting the results I'm getting? And it assumes that if you ask yourself that question, that you're taking responsibility, or at least your part of responsibility for that particular outcome that you're getting. So I want to show you an exercise that will help you to start seeing the unconscious patterns that are playing itself out. In the work that I do as a coach, I help people to see that there's the unconscious mind that is always playing itself out. And then there's the conscious choices that we make to choose right in the moment what we want. The problem is that when we're little, we actually don't know how to self-regulate our nervous system. So it's the equivalent of, imagine you're in a car and you put your foot on the gas and it speeds up, and then you pull your foot off and it slows down. When we're little, a similar thing is happening, that when we're scared, it's like we're putting our foot on the gas pedal. And when we're not scared, we're pulling our foot off the gas pedal. It's the same thing. So what happens with children and babies is they learn to self-regulate through the person that they're looking at. So if the person they're looking at is really tuned into your needs as a baby, your brain is going to go, oh, it's safe here. And over time, what starts happening is like the equivalent of the gas and letting off. I need my diaper changed. That's equivalent to the gas pedal. And then when you get your diaper changed, it's the equivalent of letting off the gas. Or I'm really hungry. And so you start crying and you get fed. That's equivalent of, the crying is the equivalent of the gas pedal. And then when you get fed, it's the equivalent of taking your foot off the gas pedal. All right. So when we're scared, the same thing happens. We scream out, we cry. It's like the gas pedal, and then we get, comforted or protected in some way, soothed, they try to rock you or calm you down. And then what that does over and over, if it happens enough times, it trains your nervous system to behave in a certain way. So when, it's funny, I forgot to shut off my phone here. So when we get used to that gas pedal letting off the gas long enough, and enough times, that becomes the default in our nervous system. So imagine for a moment, you've got two extremes on a pendulum or a spectrum. One end, my needs are getting completely met and I feel safe in the world. And the other is they don't understand what I need or what I'm wanting. And your brain is like going, okay, how do we deal with this situation? So what ends up happening is we start laying on coping mechanisms. Well, in the first 5 years of life, we're primarily guided by this, what is called the implicit memory system, which is like muscle memory. It just repeats itself over and over again. So that becomes the default. And then later in life, guess what happens? When something even slightly resembles that fear or a disconnect, we start acting out those unconscious patterns. All right. So we need a way of untangling that. We need a way of seeing what we're doing that's coming from our memory system, which is one side of the coin. The other side is choosing consciously what we actually want to do now. Now, the problem with that, it sounds easy on the surface, but the problem is that when we get triggered, it's like a freight train that happens. And in that moment, we know nothing else. It's like the neurotransmitters that are firing in our brain are the original ones that were firing way back when they first got patterned in our body. All right, so here's an exercise you can do that you can start doing every day that will help this situation. And it's called the loop of awareness. I originally learned this from the Hendricks Institute, Gay and Kathleen Hendricks, my first mentors. It's an awesome exercise. I use it every single day. I teach all my clients the same exercise because it's so perfect in how it works. And it starts out like this. First, you check in wherever you are, whether you're in your car and you're driving, whether you're with a friend, whether you're with a partner, whether you're about to have a difficult conversation, whether you're with your boss, whether you're entering a room. I do this exercise constantly. And the way it works is you check in. You ask yourself, am I present right now? Is my mind preoccupied with something else, or am I present? And do I feel available? Do I feel like I can receive information and be differentiated from the other person? What often happens is we receive information, we're triggered, and all bets are off of what's going to happen next. All right, so that's the second thing that happens. We want to check in. Am I available? Am I present? And am I actually available to receive information? All right. And then maybe you even check in and say, am I preoccupied with something that keeps bothering me about this particular person or this situation? Maybe you've been called into the office at work and you're afraid that, they're going to give you bad news or something. So all of that you want to set aside and just be present in the moment. That's the key to the whole thing, is to learn to be present in the moment. All right. The second thing is then you want to go out and investigate the other person. They don't even know you're doing this, but you feel into their energy, whether or not they're available, whether or not they're present. Okay. And then just watch the story you start making up in your head about what you're seeing over there. All right. So this is just practice this exercise. There's a few more layers that I'll get to later, but for now, just go back and forth and then bring your questions back to this post. Say, hey, this is what I noticed. What do I do with this? And ask your questions, and I'm happy to respond to those. All right. So the goal today was to answer the question, why do I keep creating the results that I'm creating? And your first line of defense against that is to stop and go, where am I in this moment? Where am I available? Am I present? And then go out there and say, are they available? Are they present? And that will start helping you to see where things start going south before you even engage in a conversation with that person. All right. So we're trying to unpack what's going on unconscious in me that is recreating the dynamics that keep getting played out in our relationship. All right. Hope that's helpful. Many blessings. Post your questions below. And I won't say that I'll be posting more often, because every time I do that, it doesn't seem like I do. So I'm just going to do it. How's that sound? All right. Many blessings to you guys, and we'll see you in the next broadcast. All right. Also, let me know if you want to know in advance when I'll be doing these, because sometimes I actually don't know, but I could start planning it if I know that you'll show up. All right. See ya.